AEW Unrestricted. It's Aubrey and Will. This is the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling, as you all know. And welcome to the show.
Hey.
Aubrey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, especially great. It is an exciting day here. We've got some really awesome guests, and I like when I get to talk about the other things I do at work besides yell at the half-naked men on TV. As a reminder, I do want to remind people that we are presented by Upper Deck, our title sponsor. You can collect your favorite wrestlers in 2024 Upper Deck AEW. Start your trading card collection today. Unwrap autograph, memorabilia, or premium tech inserts. Visit upperdeck.com to learn more. And one of my favorite things, just to continue to segue into why I am excited today. It's really great working on products and the AEW IP and it sort of appearing in other digital media when you can include awesome talent like Chris Jericho and Christian Cage and all these like shiny little cards. Who else do I have? I have Cope, Mr. Adam Copeland. I have everyone's favorite.
Just going all Canadians right now.
Right? Yeah, maybe there's a reason why. So there's a very cool collaboration, video game collaboration with some special in-game events that are starting literally today. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, we've had we featured AEW Rise to the Top on this podcast before, but you may not know of a very popular Canadian television show that our guest here today, Eastside Games, made into an extremely successful game at Trailer Park Boys. So let's just get at it. We've got the development team from Eastside Games here today. We've got Kyla, who works in the marketing. We've got Matt, CEO of Game Masons, who does a lot of the development side of stuff. And we've got Peter, associate producer. Hey guys, I'm so excited to have you here. How you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Doing most excellent.
Most excellent. Good. That's a good one. Good. We're off to a great start. So I'm excited. We've been working on, how long has Rise to the Top been a thing for us? Like, I think Matt and I are sort of doing that, like, look up to the right and count type thing. Feels like forever, but also feels like yesterday.
Probably 3 years for the development, and I think 4 years. I remember driving from Los Angeles to Park City, talking to my lawyer, trying to get this together.
Right, exactly.
That was before my son was born, so my son's 3.5 now. So
it's always great when you have that like marker of like, this major event happened in my life at the same time this major work event was happening in my life. So
always easy to remember.
Right? AEW Rise to the Top is available on the App Store and Android, Google Play Store. You can download it, play it. It's fantastic. It's my favorite game that I've made with AEW games. It's just such a good like love letter to wrestling. Like, you guys know the AEW IP inside and out. You know these characters, their voice is portrayed excellently in this game, and I know our fans and our players actually like love everything that you guys are doing. So I want to talk a little bit about this crossover event because I knew nothing about Trailer Park Boys going into this. When I got sent a slide deck going, what the hell is this Canadian TV show you guys are talking about? So Kyla, can you give us kind of a rundown of what Trailer Park Boys is and sort of how we got to the point of this universe crossover between the two games?
Yes. So Trailer Park Boys is a really funny show. If you haven't seen it, definitely take a watch. Before I watched it, I guess it was never on my radar. And then once I started working at ESG, I thought, I got to check out the show. It's one of our bigger games. Mm-hmm. Watched it. Hilarious. So even if you think, oh, I'm not sure I'll like that, you will. It is so funny. So essentially, we have a character, one of the three main characters. We have Ricky, Bubbles, and Julian. Bubbles, as you can see behind me.
We're watching the video version.
His wrestler character is called the Green Bastard. So since they have a portion of wrestling and AEW Rise to the Top is wrestling, we thought a better crossover couldn't have happened. It's the perfect merge. So we asked you guys and everyone was on board.
Right. It just sort of makes a lot of sense, right? And I mean, you guys have done this successful game in Canada. I actually heard about the game first because I was talking to one of our photographers at AEW, and I said, yeah, we're working with Eastside Games on Rise to the Top. He goes, are those the guys that made the Trailer Park Boys Greasy Money game? Because I play that constantly. And I'm like, what? And then, start doing research and like, oh, yeah, I think you guys have over 4 million players on that game, which is absolutely insane. Like, which is, to me, like when we're sitting in meetings talking about these pitch decks and stuff, it's like, look at this amazing market that we get to reach out to, that, you know, these people who may not be familiar with All Elite Wrestling, but they understand a little bit based on, you know, Bubbles' character, that wrestling is this extremely entertaining sort of thing that people can participate in. So it's been super great getting to know more and more about this IP and whatnot. As a reminder, if you download either game today, whether it's AEW Rise to the Top or Trailer Park Boys Greasy Money, there are in-game events that are exclusive. Starting today, they run through Monday. Definitely check it out. You can see characters from each game appearing in each other's universes. It's so good, and I absolutely love it. So check it out. If you're a fan of either game, you're going to see awesome, all of our Canadian talent, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Renee Paquette, Cope, Christian Cage. They all make fun appearances as they go to Sunnyvale. So I want to talk to Peter a little bit, because I actually don't work very closely with you often.
Yeah, no.
So, no, I'm like, oh, hi, hello, who are you? Which is just like par for the course with video games, right? Like you work on a project and you're like, oh, yeah, no, I know this person really well, but who is this guy? Could you talk a little bit about sort of the involvement of what it's like working with two distinctly different IPs and kind of combining them to make it work so seamlessly well?
Yeah. So, you know, like realistically, like you have to make sure that the brands align and make sense, right? So kind of seeing where both brands can kind of cross and how we can create synergy within that. So like something like AEW and TP and Trailer Park Boys, you know, they align in a lot of similar ways, as Kyla has mentioned, right? There's, you know, we've had a lot of the boys. When I speak of the boys, Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles, they're kind of wild and rambunctious. If you haven't seen the show, definitely you'll get that right off the bat. And they're always up to something crazy. And what AEW is like, you know, they, you know, pushing the limits of wrestling, and, you know, really making those 5-star matches. So I think, you know, kind of crossing, you know, kind of meeting at that midway really creates a synergy there for an event like this.
Yeah, it's just, I'm super stoked. There's a lot of things where you don't think they're going to make sense, and then once you see them together, you're like, oh, this absolutely made sense. So Matt, we've been working together very closely for a long time, as you've frequently emailed me saying, hey, I need you to approve this art. And then I say, make them look more bro-y, or make the tan 2 shades darker.
The tan is the ultimate one. That's probably 1 out of 3. It's
1 out of 3. It's always, hey, can you give
more
a little
body
bit more
oil.
of a tan? More body oil, less 5 o'clock shadow. Let's act like they shaved that day. What has sort of been your favorite part of this crossover, and including Trailer Park Boys in Rise to the Top and vice versa?
Probably getting Bubbles to be a new legendary character, animating him, creating him, and then who he's going to be taking on in the game. I think everybody's going to appreciate that. It was funny when I started playing Trailer Park Boys. Chris Jericho was already in the game 8 years ago, so this has been building just like any great match, any great rivalry in wrestling takes a long time to like cook. So we are here. Hopefully it's not the end of it all. Maybe there'll be a rematch sooner than later, but kind of getting to the crescendo is going to be great.
I love it. I love it. So good. So good. We're going to take a quick break and talk more about the development of both of these games and the synergy between the brands and whatnot when we come back here on AEW Unrestricted. AEW Unrestricted, Aubrey and Will. We are talking to the amazing people at Eastside Games, Game Masons, the two groups that are sort of responsible for these amazing games of AEW Rise to the Top and Trailer Park Boys Greasy Money. As you heard in the first segment, starting today, there are special in-game events in both games, so download both of them on the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store. Check it out. They run through Monday, so if you're watching the video version, today's the last day to play it. Definitely check it out. I'm excited for all of the little things. Like, as I mentioned, I wasn't super familiar with Trailer Park Boys, but for anyone who was in the crowd at Minneapolis Dynamite recently, or literally yesterday, they got to see a little bit of the Green Bastard as he was sort of unveiling his wrestling costume and whatnot. Kyla, what was sort of important from like a marketing perspective for you to get across from the Trailer Park Boys IP to the AEW audience who, you know, are not only American, but may not be familiar at all with who these characters are? What was sort of your main focus and your drive in this project and in this collaboration?
I think at the heart of it, my main focus was just to have fun with it. We didn't want to promote something where you have someone just reading off a piece of paper, like, check out our game, it'll be really fun. I thought, let's get a little creative with it. The boys were amazing with all the content they sent us. For anyone listening, if you check out our socials on Trailer Park Boys TPB game, we have a lot more additional content. I won't spoil it. Maybe you'll see some people you recognize.
Hey.
Who knows? Check it out. But at the heart of it, we just wanted it to be a fun video to watch. I kind of gave a rough script, a little bit of kind of the B-roll we're looking for, examples of the kind of lines we were looking for, and they ran with it. I think I gave 3 or 4 lines and they gave us 10 to 15 options. And it was just so funny, even watching it back. Had I not known what the game was about, I think it really tells you. You're watching this epic showdown and he's going to call it your favorite wrestlers. He came to play.
Exactly. It's one of my favorite parts when you get to know people who are like secret closeted wrestling fans, and the moment you sort of introduce that, like, hey, we're sort of doing this wrestling thing, and then watching their eyes light up and the amount of like content these guys gave. Because I know that was one of the questions we had sort of early on in our marketing meetings of like, okay, so we're going to do this. What are sort of they doing on this side? And then getting all of these trailers back for approval. I'm like, oh my God, they went completely over the top. I mean, no pun intended, but they rose to the top and really like just hit it out of the park with their involvement and whatnot. Peter, I'm curious a little bit because I come from a production background, so I know a little bit of sort of what you do. How long have you been at Eastside Games?
So I've been at Eastside Games for about 2 years now.
Ooh, 2 years. So have you been on Trailer Park Boys, Greasy Money? Have you been on Rise to the Top? Which ones have you been sort of working on there? And how did you come on board with this project?
Yeah, so I'm actually on a different project at the studio. I work on the office games, somehow we manage. But once I heard that we were working on an AEW game, and I've been a wrestling fan since I was 5 years old.
Hey.
So I had to somehow get involved. So I'm talking to whoever I can. How can I help make this game just great? You know, playing video games at a young age, having played many wrestling games throughout my life, it was like a dream come true of sorts. So I was able to participate in, you know, just helping the teams understand what wrestling is, you know, understanding like what makes like a wrestler great. You know, it's just beyond what they perform, what they, you know, their history of matches, their persona, how they are on the mic, and really kind of trying to make sure that we embody that, because, you know, as wrestling fans and as a gamer myself, you know, that's what we want to see in these games.
Yeah, it's really comes down to, it's like characters have their catchphrases, but how do they get to those catchphrases? Why did those catchphrases become a thing? How do they interact with other characters? What rivalries exist there? Like, for instance, we've got Cope and Christian Cage in this game because, again, Canadians, and those two guys have known each other for a very long time, obviously, right? But they've had very little crossover in their time so far at AEW. I personally, as a fan, I hope there's a little bit more coming up. You know, just saying, hey, Will, nudge, nudge, nudge. But it's really great to kind of see all of these characters come together. And then from the same perspective, like, you have these characters on the show because everything is actually wrestling. Like, Bubbles has his catchphrases, Ricky has his catchphrases, or the way that they talk about things. I remember having conversations where I'm looking at dialogue in the game going, hey, I think this is a typo. I think you mean this. Like, no, this is actually what Ricky says. This is a thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. But really capturing that essence of the characters, whether it's from AEW or whether it's from Trailer Park Boys, I think that you guys just do extremely well. So, Matt, I'm going to put you on the spot. If there was sort of a ideal, like, just shot in the dark, shoot for the stars, whatever it is, if you could see an IP in an AEW universe, now that you've been in the AEW universe for so long now, what would sort of be your ideal collaboration?
Ooh, Trailer Park Boys is up there. I mean, it really does work extremely well. Both brands are so consistent and high quality. But if I had to go with one, oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of bringing a good cartoon.
Right?
There's too many good cartoons. I'm gonna age myself, but maybe a little Peter Griffin in there.
Oh,
a little
dude.
lost.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah.
The art style is definitely very invokes a lot of that sort of Family Guy sort of aesthetic and whatnot.
But you could also see him being a champion. You could see him being a champion. Like,
oh,
you could
absolutely.
see him wearing the belt. You know,
you can see him wearing the belt. You could hear him doing the smack talk. Like, I hear it in my head already. Or like anytime he takes a bump, it's just the over and over again for an extended amount of time. Like, I suddenly have like a bucket list of something I want to work on. So might have to have some conversations after this. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Oh man. So Kyla, what has it been like for you? Like as someone who's involved in the marketing side of this, what is sort of your goal and focus bringing these two IPs together? What is sort of like your day to day for those that are listening who aren't intimately familiar with the development of video games? Like, what does a marketing person do when they're suddenly given these two completely independent universes?
I guess my goal, my day to day, is just to showcase how fun our games are. I play our games and I don't get extra gems. I'm grinding just like the players are. There's been many a night where it's midnight and I'm like, oh, I got to get the chest. I got to get the diamonds, this and that. So it's mainly just, I know the games are fun and I want to show other people how fun they are, whether that be through social media, whether that be through promotion on Google, Apple, other venues. So I guess day by day, just doing that.
Yeah, it's marketing a game is really tricky. It's not necessarily something as easy as I'm just going to make a couple social media posts. It's extremely tricky in getting people involved and excited about a game, especially in such a short amount of time. And before we go to break, I just want to remind people that AEW Rise to the Top and Trailer Park Boys Greasy Money are both available on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. There is the event happening today, starting today through the weekend. It goes through Monday. Check it out. See all of your favorite characters cross-promoted in each other's universes. We see the boys from Trailer Park Boys in the AEW ring. We see AEW wrestlers visit Sunnyvale Trailer Park. It's just absolutely phenomenal. We've got a little bit more coming up here on AEW Unrestricted. Stay tuned and come back after the break. AEW Unrestricted, Aubrey and Will, mostly Aubrey, talking to the Eastside Games and Game Masons crew. They have done an excellent job collaborating two extremely different IPs into a way that just melded together so well. We've got AEW Rise to the Top, one of the amazing games that we've had on the App Store and Google Play Store, and Trailer Park Boys Greasy Money, based on the hit Canadian show. Check it out. I think it's on Netflix now. Check it out. It's hilarious. Canadian comedy is absolutely the best if you're not familiar with it. But both these games are great. The event is happening starting today. You have to reach level 5 in Rise to the Top and level 6 in Trailer Park Boys. So if you haven't downloaded it, get both games now. Play them so that you can experience this awesome content because it's only here until Monday. So, Peter, I asked this question to Matt in the last segment. I know that you've been working on other games with Eastside and whatnot, and Eastside just does an incredible job of truly capturing any sort of IP. You guys have done RuPaul, you guys have done The Office, like you've done a lot of really, really great products. If there is a like ideal collaboration that you would want to see with an AEW product, what would it be?
Oh, I think mine is either. So I'm a big fan of the TV show The Boys. So I'd love to see someone. I'd love to see Homelander come into AEW and take on Kenny Omega. That would be pretty cool to see. And just somehow they take down Volt Industry, like with Starlight and maybe the Patriarch. So, it could be. I think you could have a lot of fun writing that. And then I think the art style is already there, so we wouldn't have to worry about that. It could just be some really fun, sequences to see.
Absolutely. Kyla, I want to talk a little bit about working with the guys from the show specifically, because I know that like we've got this intensity of we've got to do 2 live television products every week, and you're sending me emails and I'm saying we're trying to get you footage and whatnot, and I'm really excited because we've got Renee Paquette involved in a couple of the social stuff that you guys will see, so definitely follow. So Kyla, first off, mention any socials that people need to follow to see all of this cool stuff across everything, and also what was it sort of like working with the boys from Trailer Park Boys specifically, when they sort of heard that AEW would be involved in this? Like, did you get any sort of like firsthand reactions from them? What were sort of the questions that came from them when they heard about this collaboration?
For socials, you can find us on all the major ones: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter. For Instagram, it would be TPB Game. And then for the most part, you just search Trailer Park Boys, Greasy Money, Twitter, X, Facebook, that kind of stuff.
Let's be real.
It's so hard when you say a word for years, but I'm trying to be good and follow guidelines.
Yeah, right. Oh, marketing guidelines. Don't get me even started. That's a whole podcast on something else entirely.
But the
right,
boys,
so
I didn't get a first-hand reaction, but they were so excited. I think they love doing things that are fun and exciting. They built their brand on having a great time. They put on an amazing show and they want to keep the good times going. So when they heard about the opportunity, they were absolutely stoked. And I think you can really see that in the video content we get from them, both from Bubbles, the Green Bastards film that he did for the arena, as well as just silly little skits they put on. You can really see when someone is proud and wanting to be involved. It is a passion of theirs, and I think it really shines through with the work and the footage they gave us. So yeah, didn't see the firsthand, but I think I got the gist of it.
Right. Yeah, you can sort of like watch any of the videos that they sent over and just know the authenticity. Like they're not faking it. That when they and we actually ended up having to bleep these, I think, in the final version. But when you hear one of the guys call our wrestlers terrible names,
yeah,
and you're just like, oh no, like they mean it when they're saying things that start with P's and things that start with D's, or that guy's actually not that bad. That was my favorite one. That these guys are coming up with this themselves, right? Like they weren't handed a script and said, hey, read this thing. They're saying, hey, can you talk some shit about Jericho and talk some shit about Christian Cage, and they know exactly what we're trying to hit. And that was one of my absolute favorite things about seeing this, is just seeing the authenticity that came across from it. Fun little backstage story. So when this partnership started, I was literally in makeup and I walk up to Renee and said, hey, have you heard of this Trailer Park Boys show? And she goes, oh my God, yes, I love it. I go, oh, cool. Because we're like doing a collaboration and whatnot with Rise to the Top and whatnot. She goes, am I going to be in it? Was like her first question. So absolutely like excited, right? And when I said yes, she then asked, well, can I have a houndstooth outfit? And I'm like, I don't understand the basis of that question, but she's like, no, it's a thing. Trust me, it makes sense. So like we had to specifically change her outfit for this game. And it's just like those little things that really bring across the authenticity of how people feel about this game. Like Renee was so excited to do sort of our backstage promos to build into all of our promotional content for this collaboration. It was just, oh man, when you see someone's eyes light up when they're like, yeah, no, I'm familiar with that, and they get super pumped. It's the absolute best. As a reminder, the events in both games, Trailer Park Boys, Greasy Money, and AEW Rise to the Top start today. It's for a limited time, so definitely download both games from the App Store, Google Play Store, whatever have you. You need to play Rise to the Top to get to level 5, and you got to play Trailer Park Boys, get to level 6 to experience this awesome content that we've been talking about for the last 30 minutes or so. It's just such an incredible collaboration between these two. It just feels so good. And I wanted to thank all three of you for being here today. I know that you're not the typical podcast guests, so I appreciate you sitting here and listening to me blab on and on about this game. And Will, I'm sure you're really excited about this collaboration that's happening.
Yeah, of course, Aubrey. I've got both AEW Rise to the Top and Trailer Park Boys downloaded. I'll be getting myself to level 5 and level 6, and you can as well from today, March 27th through Monday, March 31st. Again, that's in both Trailer Park Boys, Greasy Money, and AEW Rise to the Top. They're both running special in-game events where characters can from both IPs are featured in both opposite games. Thank you to Matt and Peter and Kyla for being here on AEW Unrestricted. Don't you forget that AEW Unrestricted is sponsored in part by Upper Deck. Collect your favorite wrestlers in 2024 at Upper Deck AEW and start your trading card collection today. Unwrap autographed memorabilia and premium tech inserts. Visit upperdeck.com to learn more. And you can listen to and follow this podcast, AEW Unrestricted, at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And check out the video episodes on our YouTube channel at AEW Unrestricted. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And are you an AEW insider? Get early access to ticket pre-sales, special merchandise offers, and more straight to your inbox. We actually just announced Detroit Days last week.
Hell
so
yeah.
Definitely make sure that you are subscribed to AEW Insider and get those ticket pre-sales and special merchandise offers. Sign up at AEWTix.com. And don't forget, AEW Dynamite on TBS Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. and streaming on Max. AEW Collision live every Saturday on TNT and also streaming on Max. ROH streams every Thursday on Honor Club. I'm Will Washington. She's Aubrey Edwards. We'll see you next time. Have a great day. Peace.